Right now, someone is drinking coffee. Actually, scratch that. Right now, 3 million people are drinking coffee. In the next 60 seconds, 2 million more will pour a cup. By the time this video ends, over 100 million cups will have been consumed. More than any other drink on Earth, more than Coca-Cola, more than beer, more than juice. And it all started with a goat that couldn't sleep. Ethiopia, around 850 AD. At least that's the legend. A young shepherd named Kaldi was watching his goats graze, as he did every single day. Until one afternoon, his goats started eating red berries from a tree they had never touched before. And then something strange happened. They didn't sleep that night, not for a single minute. They ran, they jumped, they danced around all night long. Kaldi watched in confusion. Then curiosity got the better of him. He tried the berries himself. Within minutes, his tiredness was gone. His mind was sharp, his body wide awake. He brought the berries to a monk at a nearby monastery. The monk looked at them and threw them straight into the fire. He called them the devil's fruit. But then something nobody expected happened. The fire released the most incredible aroma anyone in that room had ever smelled. The monks pulled the roasted beans from the flames, dissolved them in hot water, and drank. For the first time in human history, someone had just made coffee. That one moment on a forgotten hillside in Ethiopia would eventually wake up civilizations, build empires, and change the entire world. But nobody knew that yet. For nearly 500 years, coffee stayed Ethiopia's secret. No one else knew it existed. Then Arab traders crossed the border. By the 1400s, Yemen was growing it. They called it kahwa, meaning the wine of Arabia. And then something remarkable happened. Coffee houses opened, hundreds of them, across Baghdad, Cairo, Istanbul. They called them schools of the wise. Men gathered, not just to drink, but to debate, trade ideas, make deals, write poetry, and plan revolutions. The coffee house was the internet of the medieval world, and it made rulers nervous. In 1511, the governor of Mecca banned coffee entirely. He said it made people think too freely. He was right, but the ban did not save him. It lasted over a decade. And the governor who imposed it was executed by the Sultan, who declared coffee sacred. Because you cannot stop an idea whose time has come, and coffee's time had definitely come. By the 1600s, coffee reached Europe, and it changed everything. Here is something most people do not know. Before coffee, Europeans drank beer and wine every single morning, not because they wanted to, because the water was contaminated and alcohol was safer to drink. So for centuries, Europe started every morning slightly drunk. Then coffee arrived, and for the first time, people were waking up sober, alert, and sharp. What followed? The Age of Enlightenment, the scientific revolution, and here is where it gets remarkable. In the 1680s in London, a man named Edward Lloyd opened a small coffee house near the River Thames. Sailors, merchants, and ship owners gathered there to share news. That coffee house became the birthplace of Lloyd's of London, the world's oldest and most famous insurance market, still operating today, and Jonathan's Coffee House in Exchange Alley, where brokers met to trade stocks, gave birth to the London Stock Exchange. Think about that. Two of the most powerful financial institutions in history, born in coffee shops. Coffee did not just wake up people, it built the modern world. Then came 1971. Seattle, Washington. Three friends, a history teacher, an English teacher, and a writer, opened a small shop. named after a character in Moby Dick, Starbucks. For the first decade, they just sold coffee beans. Nobody paid much attention. Then Howard Schultz walked into an espresso bar in Milan, Italy. He saw something that stopped him cold. People were not just buying coffee, they were buying a moment, a place to sit, a place to belong. He called it the third place, between home and work. He brought that idea back to America. The original founders said no, so Schultz left, started his own coffee company. Then in 1987, he bought Starbucks for $4 million and built the largest coffee empire the world had ever seen. Today, 35,000 Starbucks locations worldwide. A new one opens every 15 hours, $36 billion in annual revenue, more than the entire economy of many countries. The global coffee industry today, over $250 billion. 125 million people depend on coffee to feed their families. 10 million farms across 70 countries. One single cup of coffee passes through 25 pairs of hands before it reaches yours. The average American spends $1,100 every year on coffee, more than most people save each month, and the empire is only getting bigger. By 2033, the industry is projected to reach over $360 billion. And Ethiopia, the country where a shepherd and his sleepless goats started all of this, hit a record $1.7 billion in coffee exports in 2024. The origin of it all, finally getting what it always deserved. One goat, one sleepless night, one shepherd who paid attention. That is all it took to build a $250 billion empire that wakes up 3 billion people every single morning. That gave birth to the stock market, that built Lloyd's of London, that created Starbucks, from a hillside in Ethiopia that nobody had heard of, to one of the most traded commodities on the planet. That is coffee, the most powerful drink ever discovered by accident. Subscribe. Every empire has an origin.